Welcome to Today in Prophecy Daily News in 15 minutes or less. News with the Bible to light our path. Well, look at this. Amazon testing humanoid robots to deliver packages. And a private company wants to build a city on the moon. Interesting days that we live in. And Pope Leo, formerly known as Bob from Chicago, Pope Leo holds first phone call with Vladimir Putin, urges him to promote peace. Hey, before we get a look at the news, just to let y'all know who are living in Idaho, they're talking about doing a 412 church in Idaho. If you're interested in that, it's going to be in the Treasure Valley area. For those of you who live out there in the Boise area, you know where that is. Go to 412idaho.com. There you'll have an opportunity right on the front of the webpage. You'll have an opportunity to click for an informational meeting. You'll be registered when you go there. And I believe the meeting about the church is going to take place next Wednesday, June 11th. So just go to 412idaho.com and check it out. I've been promising you it's coming. So there you go. Pastor Tim Thompson is the pastor that's going to be leading that church out there. And so there's all the information right there, 412idaho.com. All right, let's move on from here. So check out this first story. Germany starts hunt for more air defenses as Zelensky pleads for patriots. Folks, as we look at what's going on over in not just Germany or over there with Ukraine, if we look at the EU, look at Russia, you look at the US, you look at NATO, you start realizing everything is changing, not just there, but the entire globe is changing. And I believe it's just a matter of time as the EU is saying, hey, we're gonna raise up an army of our own. And now you have Germany saying, hey, we got to do something about this. Trump has said, you guys got to take care of your own neighborhood over there. You can't count on the US to come in there and just take care of you all the time. We live in interesting days. The dynamics are changing so much. Day to day, we wake up to all different news. Obviously, what's going on in Israel, but checking that out with Germany, this is what happened just the other day between Ukraine and Russia and the drones. Drone warfare has changed the playing field, the war field, I guess you could say. It's changed the battleground. Battles are never going to be the same again. It's completely changed everything. And the EU is saying, okay, we got to get with the program. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm one that believes that the Antichrist, when he rises to his throne, he's going to be rising out of a revived Roman Empire that comes out of the West. It would be part of Europe. But indeed, just watching all these different things, amazing to be alive right now. Well, check this out. This is out of The Guardian. Amazon testing humanoid robots to deliver packages. Tech firm is building humanoid park in U.S. to try out robots which could spring out of its vans. Amazon is reportedly developing software for humanoid robots that could perform the role of delivery workers and spring out of its vans. The $2 trillion technology company is building a humanoid park in the U.S. to test the robots. The information reported that the robots could eventually take the jobs of delivery workers. It is developing the artificial intelligence software that would power the robots, but will use hardware developed by other companies. The indoor obstacle course being used for the tests at an Amazon office in San Francisco is about the size of a coffee shop, the report said, with the company hoping the robots will be able to travel in Amazon's Rivian vans and make deliveries from them. So we look at this and we can already tell what's going on with AI. It'll be paralegals who are in trouble. Job losses. Job losses are going to come to white-collar jobs first. I would think CPA firms, dynamics are going to change in them, obviously law offices, and you start going down this path and you realize there's going to be a whole lot of jobs that are going to be eliminated. It's already reported that news sources are using AI to write many of their articles. We're hearing about these things. And listen, I had a conversation just today. How many pastors are going to start using AI to write their sermons? And now, even when you look online and you see somebody online, you wonder, is that AI? or is this a real person? Even myself, when we start realizing people can be faked, when you're watching someone that is somebody that you like to watch, it's only a matter of time before, hey, if somebody wants to fake you out and manipulate the masses, manipulate you, they can fake the whole thing. So we know that that is already out there. And you start looking at white-collar jobs being eliminated. This is delivery jobs within Amazon itself. Imagine a robot getting out of the van and delivering your package, going back in, and then you have a self-driving van. So you start to see these different things. In fact, today on You Can't Make This Up, I showed a little bit of a clip of this self-driving car. This isn't not a Tesla, but one that actually picks you up like a taxi with no driver. Amazing to see where we are. We're still quite a ways off from AI being able to be the plumber that goes under your sink and replaces your garbage disposal or something like that. But nevertheless, we can see really it's jobs at the top that people pay a lot of money to go to universities to get these jobs. And these are the first ones that are going to be eliminated. They already write code, be eliminating people's jobs within the tech industry, the very industry that is developing the AI. Nevertheless, moving on, check this out. A private company, reports ABC News, wants to build a city on the moon, but it has to land the probe first. A private space exploration company based in Japan, iSpace, wants to see people living on the moon by 2040. They have plans to eventually build a city on the lunar surface that would house 1,000 people and welcome thousands more for tourist visits. But first, they need to land a probe on the moon's surface successfully. In April 2023, their first attempt fell short of that goal after they lost communication with their first lander during the mission's final moments. On Thursday, iSpace that be today, will make its second attempt at an uncrewed manned moon landing with its lunar lander called Resilience. I mean, you look at this and you have a lot of people that are saying, some of you no doubt, that we never landed on the moon. The Apollo missions didn't actually take us there. Neil Armstrong wasn't really the first one to set his feet on the moon. And you look at this, and this says, hey, they have to figure out how to land a probe there first, and they already lost communication with one they sent. Here we are, 50 years later, with technology much more advanced. I mean, it just raises a lot more questions, doesn't it? I don't even have to say anything. All you have to do is just raise questions, and you look at this and say, man, this is fascinating. So this says land there on the moon and then build a city by 2040. That's only 15 years away. Will they make it? Is it doable? Will Jesus call us home first? Fascinating days that we live in, but certainly one more thing to keep our eyes on. But man, things are moving at an incredible pace. Check this out. Israel National News, Ruth Chiva, says U.S. vetoes Security Council resolution calling for immediate Gaza ceasefire. U.S. vetoes new draft resolution that called for an immediate and unconditional ceasefire in Gaza. Ambassador Danon, this resolution sends a dangerous message to Hamas. Reject every offer and the international community will reward you. The UN Security Council convened on Wednesday to vote on a resolution calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza without conditioning it on the return of hostages. The proposal received the support of 14 member states. The U.S. vetoed the resolution, preventing its adoption. You look at this, listen, we've been talking about this over and over again. UK, Canada, France, Australia, other Western nations are coming against Israel. And I praise God that at this time, U.S. has still said, no, we're going to veto this. You can't force Israel into a ceasefire when Hamas never honors any of the ceasefires that they've ever had anyways. And all that does is just give Hamas another opportunity to rearm itself. However, at the same time, the days that we are living in, it's a reminder, it's just a matter of time before Israel is going to be completely isolated and left all alone. Right now, we look at the current administration in the U.S. and wonder how much longer will the Trump administration stay with Israel? Is he ready to give up on Israel? Will he finish out his term? And then what happens after Trump? So, I mean, things are moving along so fast. Also coming up in just about a week and a half or so, the UN has a meeting, and on the docket, they're going to be talking about a two-state solution. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Also, out of Times of Israel, rockets fired from Syria for the first time in a year. Israel holds Syria responsible. IDF carries out airstrikes across southern Syria after 2 rockets were fired from 12 kilometers inside the northern neighbor. Houthi missile triggers sirens across central Israel. No injuries are reported. Apparently, this is talking about 2 different rockets or missiles that were fired. Rockets and missiles from the Houthis, too. Defense Minister Israel Katz said Jerusalem would mount a full response against the regime of Syrian leader Ahmad al-Sharaa after 2 rockets were fired from Syria, Syria, not inside Gaza, from Syria at the Golan Heights for the first time in over a year, minutes before the Houthi missile triggered sirens across Israel. This is, apparently these are the same 2 items that I reported on the other day, the rockets coming from Syria, missiles coming from the Houthis. And I mentioned this, Trump had said, hey, the Houthis, we've got a ceasefire with them. We're going to get along good with the people up in Syria now. Listen, these are evil terrorists. This is just more proof. Can't be trusted, but that's still on the table, obviously. Jerusalem Post, Iran Supreme Leader rejects U.S. nuclear proposal, vows to keep enriching uranium. I'd say no kidding. The issue of uranium enrichment has been a sticking point in negotiations between the U.S. and Iran. Listen, not going to spend much time here. To me, it's just rather obvious. Obama was doing this. Biden was doing this. Trump with what's his name? Steve Witkoff is trying to negotiate with Iran. You can't negotiate with the devil. By the way, Steve Witkoff received, Avi Lipkin talked about it, I think it was something like $600 million in bailouts when he was getting ready to be foreclosed on, lose his property in New York. Check out the video I did with the podcast I did with Avi Lipkin the other day. Well, when you're bailed out at that much money from an Islamic country, guess what? You're going to be manipulated by the people who said, hey, here's some money for you. If somebody gives you $1,000, you start kind of going, hey, I think I'm going to help him out a little bit, right? Somebody gives you hundreds of millions of dollars, bails you out of trouble. Listen, you're in a position of being easily manipulated. So you look at this and go, listen, you can't negotiate with the devil. Last story, LifeSite News reports Pope Leo holds first phone call with Vladimir Putin, urges him to promote peace. The exchange between the leaders could mark a signal moment in the lengthy and as yet fruitless peace process in Ukraine. And look at this Pope, he's on the peace trail. You know, what I say about that is whatever. Nevertheless, listen, after Russia was attacked by Ukraine the other day with the drones, Vladimir Putin has said we will strike back. Let me tell you something. Vladimir Putin is going to have to strike Ukraine back in order to save face, save himself embarrassment. So we look at this. What is Putin going to do? When is he going to do something? I'm convinced he's going to do something, and he's going to do something big. And we could be on the verge of a great war, the beginning of a great war. Listen, we need to hold on, keep our eyes fixed on Jesus Christ, the author and finisher of our faith. And remember, 2 Peter chapter 1, verse 19, the more sure prophetic word shines as a light in the dark place. And let me tell you, we live in a very dark world. Listen, see you guys tomorrow. God bless.